Hi guys, welcome to Jjk's Wind Down Yoga. We are going to begin today's class in a child's pose. There are lots of options to come into child's pose. First option is to have the insides of your feet and legs connected. You're sitting your hips all the way down onto your heels and just drawing your hands forward, bringing your chest over your thighs, forehead onto the mat or onto a block or cushion. Second option is to connect the big toes and bring your knees hip distance or wider. And then you just walk your hands forward, drawing your chest between your legs. And again, bring your forehead down to the mat or onto a block or cushion. The third option is really for those that have sensitive knees or find it really uncomfortable in child's pose in the first two options. Even if you find your sit bones are really lifting high off your heels, you might want to try this variation, this modification. So you can use either a bolster if you have one, or just have a few pillows that you can place in between your thighs so that your stomach, your chest and your cheek can rest on the bolster. And you start by placing one cheek on the mat, on your bolster or pillow to gaze to one side. And then midway through I'll remind you to just switch your head over to the opposite direction. So find your comfortable child's pose. We will be here for a few breaths. Once you've found your position, slowly close your eyes and just start to bring yourself to your mat. Then we're going to slowly turn our gaze towards our breath. As we start to breathe in and out through our nose. If you find it difficult to breathe in and out through your nose, then just try to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. As you inhale, I want you to think about drawing your breath in through the back body, really allowing the backs of the shoulder blades to expand. And then as you exhale, just allow yourself to melt into the ground. On your next inhale, you can just creep your fingertips a little bit forward. And on your next exhale, just draw those hips a little bit further back so you really extend the size of your torso. And again, as you inhale, breathe into the backs of your shoulder blades, really allowing the back of your lungs to expand. Again, as you exhale, just feeling yourself melting further into the earth. So if you're resting on a pillow and you have you're resting on your cheek, slowly start to lift your head and turn yourself to rest on the opposite cheek. Try to soften your shoulders here. As you inhale, you really try to expand the torso, so draw as much breath into the body as you can. As you exhale and expel the breath out of the body, just feel yourself softening and grounding down. Maybe just take a quick scan of your body. Notice if there's any areas that you're holding on to tension. And then for the next few breaths, particularly the exhale, just draw the breath down to that resistance. Just using your breath to slowly ease away that tension. After your next full breath, we're going to slowly start to lift ourselves up into an all-four position. So if you've got any pillows or bolsters, then just place them over to one side. You won't need them now. When you come to your tabletop position, just make sure your wrists are directly under your shoulders and knees are directly under your hips. Spread your fingers nice and wide and try to soften your shoulders away from your ears. And then as you inhale, slowly draw your tailbone back, chest forward. And as you exhale, draw your chin in towards your chest, rounding your spine up towards the ceiling. So we're just stretching our spine here in opposing directions. So when you inhale, remember tailbone back, chest forward, gaze is just forward, so try not to fling your neck back here. And again, as you exhale, really round the spine up to the ceiling, chin to chest, and you can really round through your shoulders here. Do one more here, inhale, and exhale. And then come to a neutral spine. So as you inhale this time, you're going to raise your right arm up to the ceiling. As you exhale, you're going to thread that arm underneath your left armpit, bring your right cheek down to the mat. And you can just walk your left hand up to the top of the mat, just extending that left side as well. Really breathe into the under part of that right shoulder. Try to stack your hips over your knees again. Just resting on your right cheek or temple. And then slowly walk your left hand back. Press down into your left palm to bring you back to tabletop. And this time as you inhale, reach your left arm up to the ceiling. As you exhale, thread it underneath your right armpit. Coming down to rest on your left temple or cheek. Extending that right arm to the top of the mat. And again, drawing your hips back over your knees. Stretching the under part of that left arm and shoulder. Extending the right side. And then slowly walk that right hand back. Come back to your tabletop. Come back to a neutral spine. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to walk your hands over to the right. Just extending the left side of the body. Try to soften the shoulders here. Gaze is just down. And then slowly walk back. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to walk over to your left, extending the right side. And then slowly walk back. Keep your wrist directly under your shoulders and just extend your right leg behind, tucking your toes and draw that heel away, just working into that right hamstring. And then step that right foot out to the side so your right heel is in line with your left knee. Keep your left wrist underneath your left shoulder. Your right toes are pointing forward, and then you're going to reach that right arm up to the side, extending the right side of the body. Just a gentle twist. And then bring that hand down, and you're going to slowly come up. You're going to bring your right hand to rest on your right leg. Try not to rest it on the knee. And as you inhale, reach your left arm up, and just stretch the left side of your torso. And then slowly place your left fingertips or hand down onto the mat and extend your right arm over. Really reaching the right fingertips away, pressing down into that outer edge of that right foot. And then slowly come back up. Bring yourself back to tabletop. Bring the right toes back, extend that leg, toes tucked, and then draw that knee back in. So again, make sure the wrists are underneath the shoulders and extend your left leg back. Tuck the toes and just breathe into the back of that left hamstring. And then step that left foot out to the side so the heel's in line with your right knee. And bring your right wrist under your right shoulder and lift your left arm up. So a twist over to the left. And then bring it down and bring yourself to an upright position. This time resting your left palm onto your left thigh. And as you inhale, reach your right arm up. Just extending that right side of the torso. And then bring your hand down onto fingertips or your palm onto the hand. Extending your left arm up and over. Keep pressing down into the outer edge of that left foot. And then come all the way back up. Place your hands down, wrists underneath your shoulders. Step that left foot back, tuck the toes, and just breathe into the back of that hamstring again. And then bring that leg back. This time you're going to step your right foot onto the outside of your right hand. Lovely. Now, you can draw that left leg back if you want to, but just make sure that right knee remains stacked above that right heel. Okay, so you want to keep that knee and heel in line. Bring the left hand underneath your shoulder and inhale, reach that right arm up. Then slowly place that hand down. You're going to place it onto the inside of your right foot and draw that right leg in towards your right arm. Draw your shoulders down your back. Or if you want, you can come down to your elbows. If your elbows don't reach the floor and you have a block or a bolster or cushion, you can just rest them onto that. But just make sure your knee is drawing into your arm. Gaze is forward. Soften the shoulders. And then slowly come back up. Bring your hands either side of your foot, and you're just going to step that right foot over to the left and draw that right knee down towards the right. So we're coming into pigeon pose. Tuck your left hip under, so that left leg is extended behind you. Reach your hands either side of your hips. Inhale, lengthen your torso. As you exhale, you're just going to bring your torso over your front legs and extend your arms in front of you. If you've got really tight shoulders, just bend at the elbows. And once you're down, remember, if your forehead doesn't comfortably reach the floor, just place a block or cushion underneath. And then just keep drawing your left hip under and your right hip back. Try to soften your shoulders here. And just bring your awareness back to your breath. And then after your next full breath, slowly walk your hands back. Extend your spine as you inhale. And then you're just going to step back into your tabletop position. This time you're going to step your left foot outside your left hand. Extend that right leg back if you want to. But just make sure that left knee is stacked above that left heel. And then place your right wrist under your right shoulder. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Then bring that hand down. So you're either going to stay on your hands on the inside of your leg, drawing your left knee into your left arm. Or you're going to come down to your elbows onto some props. Whichever position you're in, try to soften your shoulders here. And make sure your knee is drawing into your arm. Then slowly come back up if you come down to your elbows. And then we're going to bring your hands either side of that foot and step that foot over to the right. Bringing that knee all the way down over to the left. Slowly making your way into pigeon. Turning that right hip under. Extending the spine as you inhale. And as you exhale, again, you're just going to walk your hands over your torso. Extending your arms out in front of you. Bringing the forehead down to the mat or onto a block or prop. Remember to energetically really draw that right hip under that left hip back. Remember, if your left hip is really high here, you can always place a block underneath for support. Once in position, try to soften your upper body and bring your awareness back to your breath. And then after your next full breath, slowly start to bring yourself all the way back up. Extend your spine as you inhale, and then just bring yourself back to a tabletop position. And then from there, we're going to come to a seated cross-legged position. So in your cross-legged position, bring your right leg in front. And then you're just going to bring your palms over your knees, draw your shoulders down your back, bring your chin to your chest, take an inhale. As you exhale, just going to draw your right ear over to your right shoulder. Exhale, the other way. Inhale, again, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Do one more on each side. And then bring your chin back to your chest, raise your head, bring your hands to your shoulders. Just do some gentle backward rotation here with your drawing circles with your elbows. And then change the direction. Then do a couple more backwards. And then you're going to bring your arms out nice and wide. And you're going to bring your right arm underneath your left arm. And bend your elbows. Now, if you can't bend your elbows to bring the backs of your arms to touch, you just place your hands onto the backs of your shoulders and keep your elbows up. Otherwise, you bring the backs of your arms together, or you interlace your arms all the way around so your palms touch. If you're coming into the second or third option, you're going to bring your elbows up and draw your forearms forward. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're just going to draw your elbows all the way down towards the floor, drawing your hips all the way down into the mat. You can rest your forehead into your arms. If you can, just drop your elbows all the way down to the floor, but make sure your sit bones are rooted into the mat. And then slowly come back up. Release your hands. Bring your right arm up by your ear. Bend your elbow and place a hand in between your shoulders. Bring your left arm up and just place your hand outside your right elbow. And really draw that elbow into the centre so you feel that stretch along the outside of your right arm. And then release. Switch your cross-leg position so that your left leg is in front this time. Bring your arms out nice and wide, and this time bring your left arm underneath your right arm. So remember, first option, hands behind your shoulders. Second option, backs of the arms together. Third option, interlace your arms so your palms touch. First option, you're just reaching your elbows up. Second option, you also bring your arms forward. Take an inhale as you exhale. Start to draw your torso forward as you draw your hips back. And try to get those elbows down towards the mat. You can always rest your forehead into your arms. After a few breaths, you'll just notice you'll get closer and closer to the floor. Really breathing into the back of the shoulder blades. And then slowly come all the way back up. Release your arms. And this time bring your left arm up by your ear. Bend the elbows, so the hands in between your shoulder blades. Reach your right arm up. Place your hand behind your left elbow. And just draw that elbow into the centre so you feel that stretch along the left side of the torso. And then release your arms. Place your left hand outside your right knee. And your right hand behind you. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, twisting from your lower spine, your middle spine, then your upper spine. You're going to twist over to look towards your right. And then slowly come back. This time bring your right hand over your left knee. Bring your left hand behind you. Again, inhale, look to the front. As you exhale, twisting from your lower spine, your middle spine, and then your upper spine, twisting over towards your left. And then come back all the way. Now, slowly start to make your way down to the mat. And you're just going to draw your right knee into your chest. You can keep your left foot on the mat, or you can extend that leg away from you. Take an inhale as you exhale. Just draw that knee to your armpit. And your next inhale, just extend that leg up to the ceiling. Wrap your hands around the back of that left thigh, just breathing into the back of that leg. And then from here, we're just going to do some gentle foot rotations. You start with clockwise and then anti-clockwise. And then you can just extend the toes up and toes towards you, up, towards you. Hold it here. Then bend your left knee if you've extended your leg. Place the outside of that foot onto your thigh and just use your right hand to draw that leg away. You can stay here, or you can wrap your hands around your left thigh. As you draw that left leg in towards you, use your right arm to draw the right leg away. Keep the right foot flexed. And then lower the left foot down to the mat. Let your hook your right leg over your left leg. Bring your arms out nice and wide. Take an inhale. As you exhale, just drop your knees over to the left. Gaze over to the right. Just feeling that stretch along the right side of your torso. And then bring your knees back to center. Bring your right foot onto the mat, and this time you're going to draw your left knee into your chest. Take an inhale. As you exhale, draw that knee over to your left armpit. Again, the right foot can stay bent, or you can extend that leg, pressing the right heel into the mat. On your next inhale, you're just going to extend that left leg up to the ceiling. Interlace your hands behind that left thigh. Just breathing into the back of that left leg. And then you're just going to do some gentle foot rotations, ankle rotations with that foot. Maybe starting clockwise and then anti-clockwise. And then extending the toes, flexing the foot, extending, flexing, and then just hold it here. Now bend the right knee if you've extended the leg. Place the outside of your left foot onto your thigh, and again you can just use your hand to draw that leg away, or you can wrap your hands around your right thigh, lift that foot off the mat, draw that leg in towards you as you use your left arm to draw the left leg away. Keep the left foot flexed. And then slowly place that right foot down. Bring your left leg over your right leg, arms nice and wide. Take an inhale. As you exhale, drop your knees over to the right, drawing your gaze over to the left. Trying to bring both shoulders down onto the mat. And then slowly bring the knees back to center. Release that left leg. And then just extend your legs out onto the mat. Bring your arms down by your sides. As we come into our final resting pose, Shavasana. So slowly start to soften your feet out to the side. Soften your legs and your thighs. Soften your fingers and your hands. Your arms and your forearms. Let your palms face up. Soften the front and the back body. Let the front body just melt into the back body and the back body melt down into the earth. Let the shoulders melt with the back body so the chest is nice and open. Release any tension at the back of your neck, your face and jaw. And soften that area around your eyes, your cheeks and forehead as we come into our final pose, Shavasana. Just keep your gaze on your third eye here. And then just notice how with every inhale, your belly rises. And how with every exhale, it falls. Slowly start to bring some movements back into your toes and your fingers. Create some gentle circles with your ankles and your wrists. And then bring your arms up behind you, extending your fingertips away from you and your toes in the opposite direction. Really lengthening the whole body here. Then draw your knees to your chest. Just give yourself a gentle hug, rocking from side to side. And then slowly come to roll over to your right, come into a fetal position. You can just create a pillow with your palms and just place it underneath your right cheek. Now slowly place your left palm down into the mat and bring yourself into a seated position. So come into any comfortable seated position, whether that's cross-legged, kneeling, legs out in front, back supported against the wall, wherever you feel comfortable. And just bring your palms to rest on your knees, your thighs. Drop your shoulders down your back. And keeping your eyes closed, just keep that gaze inward. Just taking a moment here to observe how you're feeling. Then slowly walk your hands either side of your hips. And as you inhale, reach your palms up and over your head. And as you exhale, slowly lower your palms all the way down to your heart center. Draw your forehead to meet your fingertips to close tonight's class. Namaste.